how to vet a course, program, or education system that you are buying into. Day 6. Investors. Do they have investors? One of the things that you want to know about investors, and I'm going to talk 2 points to this. So if they have investors, what you need to know about that is oftentimes people will find nurses who are in business, and they will find them by LinkedIn, by Google, whatever. They see people, or they hear about them, or they find them in different networking, social events, and whatnot. And so one of the things I want to talk about with investors is a couple things. Oftentimes in business, you may be reached out to by people trying to give you funding or investing or whatever. Be a little cautious with this. In fact, I'm going to say be very cautious with this. I'm just going to say it. Be very cautious with this because one of the things that may happen is these people are trying to find ways to offload money of their own stuff because they want to have those tax write-offs and such. So they're trying to offload money and they're putting it into you. That comes with strings. Don't think it always comes free, because it doesn't. And so a lot of times what they're doing is just trying to balance their portfolio. The other thing is to be careful of if they are trying to launch their own product of some sort and they want to piggyback off of your industry to parlay that product into that industry. What ends up happening oftentimes with the investor stuff is, and you'll learn this as you go through the years of being in business, a lot of times they are throwing money at you and they're saying, yes, we're going to be a partner with you in this and yada, yada, yada. And what ends up happening is you lose a lot of control in your own business when you have other people telling you how to navigate and what to do. And so for that reason, I did not take any investor offers. I chose to stay in my own space because I really wanted to build my own businesses independently, how I wanted to build them, and not having to ask for permission from a lot of people. And so for me personally, that was just not the option that I felt comfortable with. My husband is a little bit more savvy in business stuff too, and so he was like, hell no. So we didn't do that. So basically, that's one of the things that I always tell people to be careful of. And I get emails constantly from people trying to give me money. Be very cautious and suspicious of this because oftentimes it's, again, smoke and mirrors. So be careful with that. The other reason to know if a company has investors is because sometimes you'll see people that will have a company and they may have had investors, and maybe what they're doing is trying to sell you on a concept, but really what they're doing is they're recruiting you to come in and work under their company. And so you think that they're successful. You think, oh, this is so flashy. This is so great. They made all this money. I can do that too. And then they walk you down this path of saying how hard it was and how involved it was and how it'd just be so much easier if you just come and work for me in my company. And so the recruiting is what they're doing. So that's why I always say, look into things a little bit deeper. And a way to look with that up is basically just put the name of the company in /investors. And it is all right there for you to see. So that is one of the ways that you can vet a company and see what their hidden agenda is behind selling you on a concept of whatever it is that they're selling you on. I hope that helps. Have a wonderful, blessed Sunday, and glory to God.